Today I painted a mural on a wall in a staff lunchroom at Walmart. They wanted something bright and cheerful and very colorful and had elements in it that represent our city. And for those of you who don't know my city, it's Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, the best city in the world. We went back and forth with a couple ideas on this one, but we landed on our local sports teams. And then me being me, I had a great idea to put our local wildlife in our sports team's jerseys. Starting off strong, we have a moose and a goose in some hockey jerseys, and then a bison and a polar bear in a football jersey. In a lot of my murals, I just paint the heads of animals, but this one I got to paint the bodies, and I thought it was really fun because I put more human bodies on them so that they could be wearing the jerseys. Except for that goose, I just don't know how else a goose could wear a jersey. I like to think he cut some wing holes at the back of the jersey to pop his wings through. Anyway, I also incorporated the city skyline. And behind that, I did some northern lights. And here it is, all done. This mural was so fun because I got to play around with the shadows and the lighting in the background, and I really wanted the characters to pop out in the foreground. It was my way of incorporating the city skyline so I could make it look like it was floating, and same with all of the characters. I just wanted it to be super fun and colorful and something that everyone could enjoy, even if you're not into the local sports teams. Also, you'll notice the logos on all of the jerseys are retro logos. This one here is obviously Winnipeg Blue Bomber football, our local CFL football team. And then of course the Canadian Goose is wearing the Canada jersey and the Moose is wearing the Winnipeg Jets hockey jersey, our local NHL hockey team. This mural is 100% freehand and it took me 13 hours to paint. Thank you for watching my video. This mural was painted in a daycare about 15 years ago, and unfortunately it has seen some better days. Apparently everyone loved the thumper in this mural, so when they heard I was coming to paint, they were actually sad to see him go. So keep that in mind for later. The owner of the daycare requested a forest theme with lots of children playing and interacting. So you can obviously see by now that this wall has a giant hole in the middle of it, presenting quite the challenge. My first concern was how was I going to fit all of these things into such a small canvas and still make it look like a big, fun, colorful mural. So working with what I had, I shrunk down all of the characters to smaller than I normally paint, and I dropped the horizon and the focal point of the mural to below the window. Then the upper portion of the mural is just the greenery from the top of the trees. This also keeps everything at eye level for the kids, so I think it's a little bit more fun for them as well. I wrapped the mural around the corner and all of the edges of the window. Here I am being a total dork, pretending that I'm sitting in the tree, just hanging out with my friends. Anyways, sorry, here it is, all done. Okay, so this little boy is obviously hanging out with the butterflies. Then we got this little kid down here in the water, just chilling with his duck friend, super cute. And then there's this little girl with her little stuffy, of course a teddy bear and an owl. Okay, so this mural took about 16 hours to complete. A little bit longer than normal for such a small wall, but whatever. Okay, so my favorite part of this mural is that I still included Thumper. There he is as a stuffy, little girl's holding it. And my teddy that I always put in. And then of course I added back in the owl. If you remember, he's also in the original mural. Anyways, thanks so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I was asked to paint a theme room for the Victoria Inn Hotel. The theme we decided on was video game with a neon pixel art vibe. And because this is a commercial property and their intention is to rent the room, I could not put any licensed characters into this mural. But I still wanted to have the vibe and feel of a video game. And so because of this, I basically had to create a video game in my head. And then I created all the characters that I thought might be in my video game. I did have a little inspiration from some movies that I've watched and took a couple artistic liberties in order to create the vibe that I needed, because I did want the whole piece to be kind of recognizable, but not really. Kind of giving you the feeling that maybe you've seen this before, but maybe not. I wanted it to be like having deja vu, if you know that feeling. So anyways, here it is, all done. And I always say this, but I really love the way this one turned out. But this mural for sure is definitely a glimpse inside of my head with all the craziness that you might imagine is in there. The only thing I can kind of tell you is it's kind of like what my dreams look like. Okay, so on this side here, we've got some just random characters that you might see inside the video game. And in here, you can see the inspiration from Mario, the tubes from the video game. Then the center portion here is the city with the buildings and the cars. And on the far right, we have the arcade player. And the whole mural glows in the dark. So I imagine like in Tron, you can enter this video game through the arcade. Then you go into the city to fight crime. There's obviously spaceships and asteroids coming in that you have to battle. And you can be any of the players that you see on the wall. Hopefully you get the vibe. Anyways, this took 25 hours to paint. Thank you so much for watching.